Hello and welcome to Madoka Magicast, the podcast devoted to the dark magical girl anime Puella Magi Madoka Magica. I'm Amanda. I'm your host Amanda, excuse me. It's been a while since I did this introduction. I'm your host Amanda, and I'm here with my co-hosts Yasha and Vanna.
Hi!
Yep, there they are. They are the owners of the biggest revolutionary girl Utano website, Empty Movement. We're also here with our producer today, Panda. Hi, Panda.
Hello!
And, well, on this show, we talk about Madoka Magica and all the things that we love and don't love about it. And we are returning here after a very long hiatus, involuntary hiatus, to record the
third part
of our coverage of the Rebellion movie. And we do not remember, really, we kind of remember where we left off in the movie, but we do not remember anything that we said, for the most part.
That's the secret about podcasting, is that once you have finished the podcast,
it's
everything
right
you just said, it's gone. You don't have that anymore. Like, it's out in the ether.
Like, I know what my opinion was and is, and I assume that I said the same opinion that I have now, but I don't actually remember what I said. So, if we repeat ourselves a little bit, we apologize. We're going to do our best to maybe cut some of that out, but yeah, so, you all will be, like, listening to this much closer in succession to each other than we did.
Then we recorded that.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we do some life updates before we get back into this? It is now January 5th.
Ooh, it's 2020.
It's been like 3 or 4 months since we last recorded, I think.
Yeah.
I think the last time we tried to record was November.
And it
November 14th.
Yeah,
because that was the last time we posted in that chat.
But we're fine now.
So my internet was not working.
It was not.
Yeah, and then I had my anniversary, and then there was Thanksgiving, and then December, and then it was just like, I did the update. I don't have to go over it all again.
we were slammed. But that's, we're here, Magico, Reco, or however we're calling that. Magical
Christmas
Records.
hangover, New Year's hangover.
Yeah. Magireco aired its first episode yesterday. It's happening!
We will be watching it.
Yes, we will be watching it.
I've already watched it, but...
Yeah, we're gonna record, since we did an episode about the game, we're gonna record a combined episode 1 and 2 podcast for the Magireco anime, so watch out for that. And, yeah, it should be exciting. Magireco! I'm excited because we're gonna get so many new magical girls, and, like,
that is pretty exciting.
Yeah! And maybe we'll finally have the continuation of Rebellion that they've been teasing forever and that we still don't have.
Vanna's just excited because she's hoping they release another Cube onesie.
Oh my god. Look, it's the Virgin Baby Yoda and the Chad Baby Cube. Honestly.
I started calling him Cube-Abby.
Cube Abby.
Aww, that's cute.
His tail's so floofy.
It is very floofy.
Yeah.
Alright.
Irresistible looking Cube.
Yeah, so to the best of our recollection, we stopped off in the movie with Homura and Kyoko figuring out that they are not in Mitakihara, that the bus will not take them out of Mitakihara. And when they realize this, they look around and all the people around them have creepy faces of themselves and are kind of threateningly smiling at them. Homura asks Kyoko to not tell the other girls for now, and Kyoko's like, okay, fine. And, I think Kyoko's like, you know what, maybe you're right that my memories are wrong, because I feel like this tough and cool Homura is the real Homura. And then, like, Homura gets all cool because she takes her braids
hair down. Yeah.
Yeah, and her hair down, yeah.
It's that walking away from explosion thing, but for
Except,
yeah. Yeah, Homura does that a lot.
She does. She plays subtle, but she's got a real flamboyant streak there. She's got a
she does.
I'm surprised that Kyoko leaves that easily, though.
I mean, it's none of her business, though.
It's none of her business, but it also seems like, amusing to have followed her. Like, I feel like Kyoko's usually one to butt her nose into business, not be like, oh, well, if you say this whole world is a construct, it sounds legit, and then leaves.
and not tell anyone and not do anything about it myself. I guess I'll do that for now.
Yeah, like it's very convenient for the story, but not especially what I got the impression Kyoko would normally do.
I kind of feel like she'd go out and start trying to figure it out herself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she'd start trying to poke holes in things on her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they were more interested in making sense, then they probably would have given her a reason why she didn't want to go and poke holes in this.
Well, Kyoko's movie jury. She's literally here to make sure that you know she was here.
They might have given her something to do in the version of the story that was a TV series and had more time to do things. Yeah.
The whole, like, her hands with the ribbons and the palms out badass thing is,
Oh, yeah. Here's where I got messed up from trying to record that one time, because we talked about the windows and the significance of Madoka being window and all of that.
Yeah, we mentioned the necessity for a window counter, I think.
Yes. I definitely put a window counter in the last episode.
Yeah, because the windows are a theme in this movie. Mado meaning a window. So Homura is like walking through, I don't know, some kind of hall of windows.
Yeah, like a hallway of mosaic windows.
Yeah, and she's recapping what happened in the show and how Madoka sacrificed herself.
Including events she wouldn't have known about, but that's okay.
Also, she uses the words New Order there, which just always twigs to me of,
Madoka
like,
started the
conspiracy theories
Yeah.
and shit, like... Oh,
Madoka.
I don't know, man. Madoka doesn't seem like the type.
What is that game with the stick in the circle?
That's a game.
I know. What is it called? Because it's in everything.
Oh, I don't know.
It's in Utena too.
Isn't it horse something?
Yeah, like it's. I guess all games are essentially a stick in a circle.
Congratulations, we broke everything down to their bare essentials.
Yep,
just a stick in a circle.
Baseball.
This is very heterosexist of us. I must say.
It really is.
I'm sorry, I'm just kidding.
Look.
Oh god, okay, I did not realize that wasn't a dopey hat, it's tea.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's
baby's
got
wearing
tea
a
on
teacup
her head.
as a hat.
She's got a little teacup.
That is very charming. Yes, the Chekhov's witch thing here they're doing is very...
Yeah, so they've set this up, like, this is part of my argument about how the story of this movie just isn't good. And that fact gets overshadowed by the bigger debate about whether the twist at the end is good or not.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
But putting that aside, the story of this movie just isn't good. Because it tries to set up this mystery of, this isn't reality, this is a witch's labyrinth. Whose could it be? And then, Homura basically spends the rest of the movie trying to figure that out. Mm-hmm. But the name of the movie is Rebellion. Like, who the fuck do you think it could be?
Yeah.
Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we already know from the TV series that it can't be Madoka's witch labyrinth because Madoka can't become a witch. We already know that from the TV series. Yeah. It's impossible. So,
It does, like, set up a mystery it doesn't actually bother to try to sell you on in that sense.
No.
I don't mind it so much, though, because it's doesn't seem to hide that very well either. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it pretty much doesn't care.
It's more that you're watching the characters figure it out than that you're trying to figure it out. Mm. So, like, whenever I'm like, oh, is this a this, or this, I'm generally speaking from the perspective of a character because it's obvious to the viewer. That's hard to do.
I don't find that very engaging.
No, it's very hard to do.
It's not engaging. Yeah.
In a bit, and even sometimes fails there. It's a tricky thing to pull off.
Right. Well, because there's no mystery to that. Because I feel like in Utena, like, when you're watching Utena, I don't really know what's going on, but I'm kind of, like, right there with most of the characters who also don't really know what's going on.
Yeah. Whereas this one is presenting you with more informed characters that still doesn't seem to know what's going on.
Right. There's no one, and then it seems like Anthony and Akio do know what's going on, and Toga to a certain extent, and they're just keeping their cards to their chest.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm going along with Utena trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
Whereas in this movie, it's like I don't feel like I'm going along with Homura to figure this out.
No, it feels like Homura doesn't seem to know either, but she's still presented as several steps ahead of you, almost, like...
It's just not really, just trying to wrap your brain around this new paradigm in the first place that the movie presents it to. You know what this movie is? This movie is Rise of the Skywalker.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we didn't see that.
It just throws new thing at you after new thing at you after new thing at you for 2 hours.
I hear it's about
and then
Space
it gives
Chad the Uggo.
Yes, and then it gives you this big stupid ass twist, and it expects you to think that the movie is good because the twist is a big deal. And it's like, no, fuck off.
Didn't that just happen with Game of Thrones?
I've heard Rise of the Skywalker described as 2 movies worth of stuff jammed into one movie, and we have on multiple occasions described Rebellion as should have been a miniseries.
Yeah.
So that tracks.
It does, really.
Yeah. I mean, really.
In either case, you're not getting long enough to bake your premise.
No, and you're not getting long enough, and instead we get a bunch of stuff that is not well written enough to get across what you need to get across for it to anything to be satisfying. Mm-hmm. So it all just kind of this is, and I'm speaking for myself here. If you like Rebellion, if you liked Rise of the Skywalker, and you don't agree with me, totally fine. And this is just how I feel. You know, instead the whole thing just comes across. It just flops completely. Like it just doesn't get. I don't get anything out of it instead. You know what I mean? So something that you can kind of see the potential of instead just doesn't work at all. Like I don't even think it works a little bit. It's like it doesn't work at all for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. And like your viewpoint is 100% completely valid. For me, it's the emotional texture of the thing makes up for all of that. Like I feel like the movie. Well, I mean, it is very pretty too. But I feel like
pretty.
There's a lot to be said about what kind of emotional state it's trying to evoke, and I think it's more concentrating on that than trying to make logical or reasonable sense. Like,
yeah, I definitely don't feel like logic, and in that sense, I guess you could hold it to failing to sufficiently put you in a space that you're just going to accept it because so many people didn't. Mm-hmm. Again, as usual, like so Oscars fed. Contrasted to like the Utena movie that is so completely fucking ridiculous from the start that you know better than to try to apply any sort of plot to it.
Liz, if it wasn't meant to be the sequel to a story that is not like that, I probably wouldn't care.
Yeah.
If it was like the Utena movie where it's just a retelling of a complete story and it's not meant to be a sequel, so it's okay for it to be its own entirely different thing.
They did like to stress in the interviews that this is supposed to be a sequel to the first 2 movies.
About that.
Stupid.
Here's the thing about that. Nobody fucking treats this movie that way.
No. Including, I think, the creators. But
that is a massive cop-out to all the problems with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Including all the things that I'm complaining about. So, like, people do not... When I complain about this movie, the people who like it don't go... But it's a sequel to the other movies. That's not what people say to defend this movie. They tell me, well, you just didn't understand the TV series. That's what people tell me. Okay. That's the kind of shit that I get from like fanboys of Madoka.
You said fanboys.
Yeah, I don't speak to men who like Madoka.
Honestly, that sounds like
that's also a joke.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Like,
I mean, I don't do it often, but that's like I'm not actually doing that as a rule. It's more just I don't like, most of my friends are non-men.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be hard on the men. Like I know that there are people who probably like might feel like they're identifying with who I'm talking about, and I'm not trying to like be mean to you right now. I want you to understand that. I'm just trying to say that like that is the response that I get when I tell people why I don't like this movie. It's never like, oh, well, you know, like it's meant, you know, the creator said it's meant to.
Honestly, that
kind
movies. Of answer has a lot more bound up in that person's perception of themselves as being a smart person than it has anything to do with the movie at all.
Yeah.
Like, literally, as soon as somebody goes, well, you just didn't understand it, that's somebody who's trying to prove to you that they're smarter than you. And
this is
like, you can just dismiss their opinion
also,
completely.
I would just want to say this is also like internet discourse. Nobody that I've actually talked to face to face has ever treated me that way. So I'm sure if I ever spoke to any of our awesome listeners, or like they were guests on the show, I'm sure nobody would ever actually say that to me.
And but I'm just saying, like, these types of conversations really do go so much smoother in person because people don't feel like they have to like prove themselves, and also you can like look at the person you're talking to and see that they're not just like a little bird avatar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got on a cul-de-sac there. we gotta try to get through this because we are trying to finish this movie this episode. Yeah. So she gets through the hallway of windows, thinking back on Madoka, and now we get to this big, long... This scene is like I feel like this upcoming scene is like half an hour long.
The Uwu tea scene with Bebe?
The tea scene, and then it goes into the fight with Homura and Mami. Like, from start to finish, that whole sequence, it feels like it's half an hour. Like, it's so long. It takes up so much of this movie. They need so much time to tell the story, and like 20 to 30 minutes of this movie is this fight scene.
I feel like they really thought this fight scene was... This is
I mean, it's great. It's incredible to watch, but like the first time I watched this movie, and I feel like when we were watching this on the stream, at this point in the movie, even you guys were like, is anybody getting anything out of this right now?
Yeah, and then they're like, here, a fight scene, and we're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, it goes on for so long. It's like, okay.
Yeah, this whole sequence, well, okay, the fight sequence in specific I'll talk about when we get there, but this whole sequence leading up to it is just kind of like, you could have told this a lot more efficiently.
Like basically, Homura is like, okay, who could the witch be? And she's basically thinking, well, I remember Bebe being a witch. Yeah. So I bet you it's Bebe. I bet you that Bebe is actually the witch, and she's like hiding in plain sight and taking advantage of us.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go confront Bebe.
Which would make more sense. Like, it does make sense.
I do have to give a little bit of an honorable mention here to the weird, grim fact that Mami's best friend is the witch who bit her head off.
I know, I love that.
Wonderful. That is wonderful. But yeah, they could have told this in quite a bit more compact fashion.
Yeah. Homura starts like asking her like more detailed questions like, hey, do you remember like when you met Bebe and like how and
why?
And why, and it starts turning into this awkward moment where Mami's like, I guess I can't remember. Why are you asking? And even Bebe is like, why are you asking that?
Yeah, Bebe looks way more menacing about that question.
Yeah.
There's a knocked over tea there.
Yeah.
I think it's Bebe's knocked over tea. Spilled
another
tea, get it?
Here's another voyeurism, all these voyeurism shots of like being shots seen through bars, being seen from the other side of a shelf. Yeah.
From behind the stairs.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
voyeurism watch. But she has the same, like, I don't know, it was just sort of always like this thing that Kyoko had, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, feeling like there was nothing before this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which must be really nice.
Yes. So, Mami gets up to make more tea, and Homura suddenly turns into her magical girl costume and freezes time. And then she gets up, and with everything frozen, and walks over to Bebe and picks her up. And starts to go, like, Serpico on her.
It grabs her by the head. And
it's
very aggressive.
I think when you were first watching this, Vanna, you thought that Cube was not frozen, but he is.
Yeah, he is frozen.
Yeah. The only one who could have done that is you, baby. Oh, okay.
Oh, I like how, like, whenever she drops Bebe, and, like, Bebe freezes again. It's like, no, I'm gonna keep grabbing you. That is very defenseless.
I mean, like, for a new viewer, that would be establishing how Homura's power works, but we're not new viewers, and I don't know why anybody who was a new viewer would be watching this.
I was about to ask, like, why would somebody who is a new viewer be watching this movie?
But I feel like that's a consideration that they would have had, because that's how movies work. A very slight
gesture in the direction of people who haven't seen anything prior to this.
Yeah.
Very slight.
See, I wonder if that's another thing they should have just done away with.
I feel like, yes. I feel like doing away with explanations would have done this movie a service, because
it spends too much time on them. And
I mean, and my interest is in the emotional part of things, and those are dead spots as far as the emotional
and like this part. So after Homura grabs Bebe, she kind of runs off with her, and she's thinking like, okay, yeah, now I remember Mommy, and she's thinking like, Mommy was always so hard to deal with because, it was always difficult dealing with her. She would never react to the truth very well. So that's interesting because that's like, oh, okay, so Homura like knew that Mommy was this unstable person in this equation. Like, that's interesting. Like, that's interesting
a good
insight.
Callback.
Yeah,
that's a good callback because Mommy's the one who shoots them all when she finds out that they're going to turn into witches.
Right, that was not an isolated incident, apparently. Like, apparently she doesn't take the truth well, according to Homura. So that's the kind of stuff that, like, that's fine. Like, that kind of reminiscing is fine, but like, do we need a whole scene where Homura's walking down the stairs, thinking
Not
back
really.
to home? Yeah, like,
probably
thinking back
not,
on
no, for sure.
Madoka? Yeah, like, this time that probably could be
used elsewhere.
better spent, yeah.
It's definitely that whole, like, they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, because they wanted to have enough time to explain this to new viewers. Didn't take enough of that, but used it and then cost time that you would have used for more emotional texture kind of stuff. So it's like we keep saying, it's two movies in one, and that's just more of it. It's like, well, you should have either done that or not done that instead of half did that.
Well, and I do really feel like part of the exposition stuff is just a constraint of how movies are made, and executives going, well, but for the new audience, they don't get this? What if they don't get it? Where basically the movie has to rub your head under that skirt just to make sure that you notice everything. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Plot over here.
Yeah. Which is really kind of annoying. I have a problem because why the fuck would Mommy's ribbon be around Homura's ankle? There's no reason for it. There's zero reason for this.
I the only thing I can guess is that she wrapped it around way before.
Yeah, but like, why?
So that she doesn't trust her.
So that we can have this scene.
Maybe she did it when she got up.
Yes, that's the implication. That's why there's this long ass. Well,
yes, but I mean, like, okay, but what made Mommy not trust Homura in the first place?
Well, she was asking some weird fucking questions out of nowhere. She was asking some weird
questions, but Mommy had no opportunity when we saw her to do something like that. So we have to assume
you're just gonna have to
that it happened. Yeah, I know. I don't like skilled. That hand wave part.
Also, why wouldn't Mommy have just stopped her when she was still in her apartment?
Exactly. Like,
she wanted to hear the exposition too.
Because this movie's bad, guys.
That's the reason why. The writing in this movie is bad. You might like the emotions, you might like the twist, but the writing in this movie is bad. I'm gonna stand by that. I'm sorry.
I even like some of the fan service, but I think this movie's bad.
Well, yeah.
No, it's...
I think those are bad parts of it,
It's a big ask.
This is a major ask, and it leads to basically a cul-de-sac in the movie where nothing happens.
And
that's
then they
the
have
entire
to, like, break
fight.
it.
And it's just, this whole sequence to me was just really pointless because yes, it's cool, I guess, to watch Mami and Homura fight, but
I like the fight on its own, but as a part of this movie, it's just, it takes so long, and
yeah. So now we have the challenge
like,
time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh no, you were following us all this time. Will you explain what this is about? Blah, blah, blah. Lots of stuff happens, and then they fight.
They're being tricked by Bebe, she says.
And, I mean, Homura...
where she thinks she's the witch.
Homura talks about, like, what's going on and tells Mami what's going on, but Mami basically is like...
What is wrong with you?
Are you okay, man?
Yeah.
Like... Are you alright? And, I mean, yeah, that's pretty... I would expect Mami to do that. I wouldn't really expect her to buy into a weird accusation like this. So, Homura tries to shoot Bebe, Mami saves her and gets away, and gunfight time.
How come she can shoot the ribbon and it won't break?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more like... that's yet more convenience. Because doesn't she shoot the ribbon eventually to get it to break off from her?
Yeah, she just tries, and that doesn't work.
But I mean later, when she gets it off, doesn't she shoot it to get it off? Like at the end?
I mean, it's gonna work again.
But she just tried to do it.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
This is not the smartest.
No.
Now we get a big gunfight. Mami's bullets are really pretty.
Except that it's this magic gunfight in time. Pew pew.
Pew pew. Time stop gunfight. They're each shooting a kashmillion bullets at each other, and it's a rain of sparks, and they're exploding, and it's like fireworks and cartwheels and somersaults.
Cool.
There's lots of polka dots and so many flashes, and oh my god, sensory overload. It's like watching a lightsaber fight in the Star Wars prequels. It's like I can't even follow this shit. What's going on?
It looks cool, but I don't give a shit.
I don't. Yeah, like
this is the fight that they should have somehow forced with Madoka and Homura. I would have watched that.
Yes.
You know what? I have a theory, guys. You want to hear my theory?
What's your theory?
I think they wrote this before they wrote the movie.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense.
They storyboarded this fight before they did the movie.
You know how, like, when you make, like, action movies, sometimes
you have the big set pieces.
Doing the big set pieces before you've even finalized the story. Yeah. That's what this is.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
They came up, they were like, we're gonna do this big fucking fight with Mami and Homura, and it's gonna be so cool. And everybody's gonna be like, whoa, it's so cool. And then they had to put the movie around it.
I 100% buy this.
We kept teasing in the show that Homura and Mami were going to fight, and they never did it. So now in the movie, we're finally going to have them fight. We got to have a scene where they fight.
That's my theory, guys.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the production team was like, okay, but that's not the movie we want to make?
Yeah.
Well, put it in anyway.
Yeah.
Do we think it was a studio mandate?
I feel like a lot of the problems that are with this film were probably studio mandated. Like the exposition,
I hesitate to speak to that because I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know whether
which studio mandate works in. If this were
a Hollywood movie,
if this were a Hollywood movie, this would absolutely have been a studio mandate.
Yeah,
I don't know if the rules are the same in Japan. Ikuhara certainly seems to punk them.
Yeah,
more
but
than
Ikuhara
that,
lies all the time.
He's a lying liar.
Ikuhara is a lying liar who
and this
lies.
is a pulp genre, so I mean, I think it's a little bit less monitored in that sense.
I don't know, but it feels like that.
But if somebody who didn't actually care about Madoka had the power to show up and say this needs to be in your movie, it would be something like this going, this big ass.
This big-ass gunfight, or what about the new viewers, like I was talking about before, with the exposition. So I feel like a lot of that, like, I feel like that's right, in a sense.
Given I don't know the way studio mandates work there, certainly it would be a studio mandate here.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to put this crap in your movie, because otherwise people will get confused and not have fun.
Yeah, so they're fighting,
they're
twirling, they're shooting.
One of the things that kind of impressed me about the fight is there's a lot less boob fan service than I expected.
Yeah, actually, They don't really, do
what
that.
Did we, Panda, you named them Bebe and Charlotte? Bebe and Charlotte don't make much of an appearance.
We did that in a previous episode. We named them Bebe and Charlotte.
Oh, Mommy's boobies?
Yeah. They don't make much of an appearance in this. Which is fine. I'm happy with that.
It's not very fan servicey, and it's actually, now that I made the joke about it being the Matrix, the fact that it doesn't look exactly like the Matrix is
kind of impressive.
Yeah, given that you're doing like bullet time.
Yeah.
Well, it's not sexual fan service.
No, it's fan service.
It's fighting fan service.
But even so, she's right. A lot of the shots that were from The Matrix are things you would expect to be in this, and they're not.
They're not. They
kind
did
of
their
impressive.
Own thing.
That's kind of like an actual concerted effort to not, because that's such a pivotal movie for action.
I like how there's just like. It's cool. If there were stakes I cared about, I would probably think this.
But
like,
this is a cul-de-sac.
Is cool.
This
but
is
it is
not.
A
this goes nowhere.
It's like, wow, y'all wrecked the city. Okay.
I mean, they wrecked a part of the city that was already in ruins.
Yeah, but they really wrecked.
All right, so they're at a standoff.
And
as
fucking Homura. So this is actually more clever when you think about it more than it comes off in the movie. Like if you're just watching it, because remember that Homura knows that they are zombies and that she's not going to die if she shoots herself in the head.
Yeah,
and Mami does not know that. So she's basically doing this as a distraction, and it works. So she shoots herself in the head, essentially.
Manages to only graze herself.
Well, no, I think she actually straight up shoots herself in the head. If you like,
she tried, yeah.
If you really watch it, like, it shows the bullet essentially. It doesn't show it entering her head, but it does show it like leaving her hair. In like her hair, like the side of her head. It shows her leaving her head. You know what I mean?
I feel like it was meant to show that it doesn't go through, though. That it just kind of like, because Mami jerks her leg, it doesn't actually like penetrate the skull.
Either way,
like it's not gory in either way. So I feel like there's kind of room for grazing. I kind of saw it as actually actually shooting herself, just because you see that it's like just a bunch of hair, so it's like all the hair on the side of her head, and like the bullet not coming, like not grazing the top of her head, but like actually coming out from her hair. So I actually thought
this about Sarah Zanmai too, though.
Yeah.
Bullets go in like a dime and out like a dinner plate, so it's
as an attorney, not always.
No, not always.
No, it depends on the gun, honestly.
All right.
Yeah.
We got to the part though where the ribbon
the bullet to actually tear the ribbon, which again did not
that
work.
I think.
Yeah,
that I think.
But you're establishing a lack of. She's distracted.
That's what I think.
So I'm guessing that's
is that she's distracted, so the bullet is able to cut the ribbon.
Because Mami's like, no.
Yeah, that. I mean, yeah. I guess that's that. There's really no other explanation for it, so that must be what it is.
That must be it.
Well, we'll take it. But yeah, now she's finally got Mami frozen and is like, do I shoot a Mami?
Do I shoot the soul gem?
Do I kill Mami? Or, like, look, that blood splatter is centered at her temple. Like, she fucking shot herself in the head, guys.
Good job.
Yeah, she really did. So she decides, no, I can't kill Mami. So she shoots
her in the leg.
She shoots her in the leg instead.
And Mami bursts into ribbons, which, I mean, this just makes this whole thing kind of meaningless, this part. Because it's like, well, what was that? Okay? It was just all a trap?
I hate when they twist the twist. That's so annoying.
The twist, it wasn't really her. She was made of ribbons, which is now a thing she can do, though that's not been established anywhere. Also, she can make this big rock face that Homura is tied to float.
I don't think it's floating. I think I can see a support down there.
So what was she doing that entire time? Like, why didn't she just stop the fight earlier?
Smoking a cigarette. No, she's holding it up with
she's
ribbons.
Holding it up with ribbons.
Huh. She was having
chilling.
a cigarette.
She was smoking a big blunt,
drinking some tea.
Has she always been able to do that? Make a ribbon version of herself that can basically fight just as good as herself?
Just now.
Okay.
Just this time.
Now.
I mean, alright.
Studio mandate.
Anyway, so
that's cool.
She ties up Homura.
There's a walnut with eye tooth thing. I feel like this is like maximum unpleasant imagery.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Don't like it.
No, it's like this is creepy for the sake of creepy, which is not a problem, but it's creepy.
It's the Corinthian.
It is the Corinthian.
Well, actually, his eyes are on the inside of his eyelashes.
True. Yeah.
So, or teeth, eyes, whatever.
This entire sequence is gratuitous and unnecessary, and if this was a studio mandate, this was a studio mandate aimed at fans that wanted it.
Yeah,
I do think
that's the thing is, I think there was a demand for that.
Yeah, there was like, we want chicks fighting and fighting, just like with Evangelion being like, we want robots and weird Christian mythology shit. Like, there was definitely a group of people that were here for these fights and nonsense and wanted to see cute, magical girls savagely beat each other and shoot themselves and blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
blah. And it's shot that way. With like, oh, this is what you wanted, isn't it, you fuck?
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, it feels like it was fan service for a particular element of the audience who wanted to see the magical girls fight each other.
And it's done kind of
and
passive-aggressively, but
honestly,
still.
like, I'm not against that. Like, I would love to watch some cool sequences where they fight each other. I just would rather... I need to, like, care about what's happening when they do that.
Yeah.
Like, that moment, like, that happening in that moment, it just... The context for that fight scene just wasn't really...
Well, there is no context, really.
Yeah. Well, because I still don't really know who Bebe is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I still don't really know exactly how Mami did that ribbon thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like when you're watching it, you're kind of confused about how that's working.
Yeah, because it's not been established at all that she has any particular skill to do that with.
Yeah, that's a whole new thing that we've never seen her do. Like, maybe you could have established that earlier in the movie when they're fighting the nightmare in the beginning scene. Like, that's when you establish that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like I'm not against having a really awesome fight scene. It's the same thing with the cool transformation scenes. Like, I'm not against having an awesome transformation scene. It's just like at the expense of other things. It's like, no.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's gained apparently at this point Mami has just enough sentience that she finds out about Bebe.
Yeah. Finds out that Bebe is a magical girl.
Nagisa?
Yeah, Nagisa.
Yeah. That's like, oops, sorry, I've not said anything this whole time, and you find out she's known this whole damn time because, of course,
which makes
the cheese
the
animal
scene
thing.
really creepy because Nagisa was basically face planted right on her lap and all over her tits and everything. It's like, wait.
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, this was cute when it was a little
doll
animal thing that was like, cheese, and then you find out it's like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, so I'm kind of confused. I mean, I think it explains it later in the movie, but at this point in the movie, when you don't know it yet, Bebe's like, sorry I didn't say anything up until now, and you're like, what? Like, why didn't you say anything up until now? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, pulling knowledge from later in the movie, Nagisa and Sayaka are there to help Madoka, which at this point may not necessarily have been served by them telling everything.
Yeah, and at this point it's too early for you to actually get that, so...
Yeah. I'm waiting until later because I don't want to speak too soon. I don't remember if this is explained, but at the moment, I'm not remembering why they didn't just come in and say, like, hey, you're in a witch's labyrinth, Madoka, you need to come with us. I don't remember at the moment why they didn't just do that. I'm sure it comes up later.
Yeah.
I don't want to rant about it too hard. I'm sure there's some excuse for it that comes up later.
There is.
And
whether you think it's an acceptable excuse or not.
So let's wait until we get there.
But there is an explanation.
Yeah.
Alright, so Sayaka cuts the lock that's holding the ribbons around Homura shut, and they end up in a stylized version of the alley that they fought in. And Homura gets chewed out. As well she should. Because that was
cheap and dumb.
Yeah.
Sayaka literally just showed up like, this whole fight was dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Sayaka.
Thanks, movie, for telling me something I already
here
knew.
Saying this was dumb and unnecessary.
Sayaka's the one who starts talking about her job, though.
Yeah.
And they don't really get into that until later. It's what you were talking about, but her and Nagisa are there with a job, so...
This scene is, again, like, just odd to me.
I feel like this was also them trying to sell, maybe Sayaka's the witch, because it starts out with that whole, like, devil's advocate. Maybe this isn't such a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was them trying to make you think possibly that this whole time it's been Sayaka, which is dumb. Everyone knows it's not Sayaka. She's not important enough.
Yeah,
yes.
Pretty much. Oh no!
Even though she's apparently Miss Badass with her sword and stuff.
Sayaka just stabbed Homer's little shield thing that controls time.
So she can't use it.
And I mean, called out, though. going to retreat into your own little moment again? That's a bad habit of yours.
It is.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a... If you can stop time, honestly, I can't get mad if that's a thing you do.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I know it's a music thing on her hair clip, but it just looks like FFFFF to me. I'm like paying respects to Sayaka this whole time.
F's in Sayaka's hair.
Yep. Yeah. It's F's in Sayaka's hair. But yeah, like, you rely too much on your magical time-stopping magic. Like, that's a real call-out to literally any human on Earth that has that power.
Yeah, and so now she's hinting about what the witch wants and who the witch is, but not really saying it right out.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess she's trying to make Homura figure it out herself, but she's not very good at it, because that is just not something Sayaka's good at.
Yeah, like,
honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised Sayaka's bad at this. But
yeah,
I feel like the
Sayaka's real
writing is bad at this.
The writing is bad at this, because I don't understand exactly how they're supposed to get Madoka out of this situation. So it's also like, well, what is Sayaka exactly supposed to do? Is being kind of mean to Homer in this way helping her what she's supposed to do or not? Like,
yeah, like, what is this?
Well,
like,
dancing? Does this help her mission, or is it not help her mission? Should she be just over with Madoka right now that she remembers why she's in this labyrinth? Like, or is this a waste of her time?
This dancing is gets callback.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
she's dancing, and it's the same dancing that Homura does in the end, with the same shots of her feet and stuff like that.
Huh.
And it's dancing when it's her rationalizing why it's better to stay here.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I know why, and I can't really get into it without hopping ahead in the story, though. So
yeah. We'll get to it there later.
Yeah, by the time we get to it, I'll have forgotten this. But whatever.
But it is definitely like it feels like they had a goal they couldn't quite make. Also, having like the red and the blue imagery doesn't work if Kyoko's not there.
Yeah,
asshole.
It's tiny shout out to the little red and blue animal heads that were on the wall earlier on. I loved those.
This whole sequence is full of red and blue imagery because that's what Sayaka and Kyoko had, but Kyoko's not even in this scene.
Yeah, so it doesn't quite work.
Yeah, so it lands like not at all because
they could have at least done like a bright purple instead of red.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh, and there's green, because, yeah, I get it, but you're using the wrong color language for the characters that are on the screen, and it just really pisses me off.
So, Sayaka's like, think about it, like, or maybe it's Homura, whatever. They're like, think about it, if we're in a witch's labyrinth, the only way this could be possible is if it's someone who knew what a witch was. And there's, it can't be Mami and Kyoko because they were. Remember. There are 3 people here who shouldn't be here. Like, it's impossible for them to be here because they shouldn't be able to exist.
3 people she's referring to are Madoka, Nagisa, and Sayaka.
Because they all 3 have demonstrated they know who.
Yeah.
At this point, it's pretty much just Homura, Madoka, and Charlotte. Or Nagisa, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't she be talking about Homura, Nagisa, and Sayaka?
Because they're all conscious of the fact that there's witches.
Because those 2 are dead, so they shouldn't be there, and Madoka shouldn't be there as well. Homura, as far as we know, is alive.
Madoka never existed in this world.
Yeah, so she's definitely one of them.
Right, so it's gotta be, and then I think we can all agree that Nagisa's gotta be one of them.
Yeah. She's dead.
Well, and she's, like, in a witch form.
Yeah.
Like, she's existing as Bebe, so that's, like, doesn't make any sense.
Still a problem.
So, and then the last one, I guess it would either be Sayaka or Homura.
I think it's Sayaka because she's dead. She died. She was a witch. And I think her witch form even shows up in this scene.
Yes, towards the end of it.
Yeah, so I think they're referring to her there and not Homura. Homura has never, like, she knows about witches, but that's the only thing. And that doesn't mean she shouldn't be able to exist exactly. She's just the only one who remembers the old world order as opposed to the new one.
Yeah, so this scene's basically more teasing, like, ooh, whose which labyrinth is it? But again, like, for reasons we've mentioned, like, it's Homura's, like...
It's obvious.
Yeah, it's really not that hard to guess. Oh, she's explaining it.
She's gonna list them.
Never mind.
Maybe.
She's explaining it.
And the third is you.
Yeah.
Are you really Miki Sayaka?
Yeah.
Who should also be dead.
Yep. And this, I think, is when we see her witch form. And we get more moon shots.
Oh, we get
the shaft
creepy
head turn.
shaft shot.
Yeah.
There's the witch form.
And we're like, oh my god, are they gonna duke it out?
Yeah, so they're about to fight, and Homura freezes time.
Takes a moment.
Yeah. And as she's frozen time, it looks like Sayaka has, like, turned into a witch, or has summoned her witch, or something, and Homura reaches out to grab her white cape, and when she pulls it away, Sayaka has disappeared, and turns into a disembodied voice.
Would you really be okay with destroying the city?
Honestly, I kind of get this. Like, it doesn't make sense now, but with information from later, this kind of does make sense, because what Sayaka is really asking is, Homura, are you going to be happy any other way? Like,
which is no. The answer is no.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and that's why I think there's so much dancing around it, is because she doesn't want to break Homura's belief in her own labyrinth, because Homura might want that. That might be what she really wants.
Yeah, it's already the decision she made, so...
Yeah.
But as we have established, Homura can't be fucking happy, so she's going to crash her own.
Yep. Now we're on a gondola going under. Did you enjoy the movie Arch with Kyoko's puppet, I think?
Which is, yeah, there's that whole, like, super passive-aggressive, oh, you miserable fan, you like this, don't you? You're enjoying this.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have another little cul-de-sac here of Homura thinking about each of her friends, mostly about their happy lives in the fake city.
And it's kind of telling, though, the happy lives of her friends are all paper puppets that kind of look dumb.
Yeah.
So there's Homura thinking about happiness. Ugh, looks dumb.
Oh, they're eating pomegranates, of course they are.
Yeah, well, of course they are, because Hades, Persephone, blah, blah, blah.
Look, I didn't see that they were pomegranates at first. They were apples, and I'm like, well, that also would work.
That would track, but
also tracks,
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way,
but it's pomegranates,
tracks.
And now everything is burning.
Well,
the ship that she's on is burning. People are drowning. She's clutching at Statue Madoka's legs,
which is creepy.
And they start throwing the pomegranate, and it looks like bloodstains, and this is all just going on in her head, because nothing actually happens.
No, she's sitting on an overpass, and then
Madoka
shows up, and she does this, like, cute, like,
rubbing
her blood on her face.
That's adorable,
It's kind of cute. It's like,
I don't want her to see me with blood on my face.
Okay, yes, that's very cute. But also, Madoka jumps off the bridge and glumps her, and they fall into the boat, and it does the anime thing where she's, like, on top of Homura.
Of course.
That's the kind of thing when I'm watching anime where I feel embarrassed if I'm watching anime with someone, where I'm like, I want to turn to them and be like, I'm so sorry. I know that's so cringy. I promise I like anime for different reasons than for that. I promise.
Yeah, this ain't what it's about, I swear.
I swear it's good for other reasons, I promise.
just
and here we get a call back to that fountain.
Yeah.
The one where
yes, we do. We get our
Homura
fountain.
shoots up Kyubey.
Yeah.
And actually we just got a couple of shots of Kyubey too, so
it does.
So now I'm all, like, happy inside, because I'm like, yes, Kyubey getting shot. This is great. But then Homura, you shouldn't go off by yourself. And
you're like, wait, why?
Yeah.
If you want, you can tell me what's wrong. Madoka gonna Madoka, I guess.
Yep.
Madoka's gonna Madoka no matter where she is.
Yep. I mean, she's right, though. Talking about problems, even if it doesn't solve them, does help.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, like, oh my god, flashbacks to a million conversations I've had with friends.
This is basically Madoka being Madoka, like, unaware that she's Madoka.
Yeah, being a good friend, like, just trying to be there.
Yeah. Okay, the blimps, like, watching the city with the lights look like friggin' tripods.
They do.
from War of the Worlds.
Who are the blimps? Are the blimps Cube? I can't remember.
That's the implication, I think.
Yeah. Cube watching this.
Yeah.
Now we have the field of flowers
Field
sequence.
of flowers,
Petals in the air, and
It's all
I was
very
so
romantic.
lonely and sad, and no one could understand how I felt, and all of that. Yeah, okay. I started thinking my memories of you were just things I made up, and I began doubting myself.
So this is like shit that makes me mad because this is the Wraith arc backstory to this movie, and let's see, how far are we into this movie? Oh, what's the timestamp right now?
An hour and 4 minutes.
We are an hour and 4 minutes into the movie, and just now we are being told what Homura's state of mind was going into this movie, during like after what happened at the end of the series.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, really?
That's a little...
Oh, she started to question whether her memories of Madoka were real. Oh, that would have been a good thing to know about, like, before all of this.
Yeah.
And we're not really getting to see that. It's we're the movie's telling us that, like, show don't tell. Like I'm not. It's not even like, if you're not paying attention, that's just gonna go right over your head. It's not really gonna register, how important that is to the story. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but you see, they had to get through all the exposition for the new viewers.
They had to. It's Rise of the Skywalker. They dump a bunch of information on you, then they go to an action scene, and they dump a bunch of information on you. Then they go to another pretty Inukuri scene. Then they dump a bunch of action exposition on you. Then they go to the next action scene. It's literally the same problem as this friggin' Star Wars movie that was terrible.
I will defend.
You know what?
A little bit. This
1 sec. I feel like, Amanda, you would have been a much happier person if you'd gone to see Cats instead of Rise of the Skywalker.
I probably would have. I really want to go see Cats because
I went to see Cats, and I'm a happier person.
It's good.
I will defend this a little bit because I think what they were trying to do with this is portray the process of Homer remembering that she felt this way. So the Homer that you see right at the beginning of the film doesn't remember this stuff yet because she's suppressed her own memory, because she knew that to keep her memory she would immediately try to get out of the witch labyrinth. Like, for her to buy her own illusion, she would have had to bury her recollection of how she got there.
I can definitely see that.
So I feel like
it could have been handled better.
Yeah, plot wise and like film experience wise, it doesn't quite land, but I feel like it makes sense that she wouldn't remember this until later, because she deliberately couldn't have remembered these things without, and which is true, because the moment she remembers it, she starts to crash her own damn labyrinth. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like I understand that, and maybe this is personal preference. It probably is. Mm-hmm. My brain shouldn't have to do all that work when I'm watching a movie. I'm not trying to brag. I'm a lawyer. I'm not a stupid person. Like, you know, I can do that kind of mental work. My brain shouldn't have to do that kind of mental work. I should be able to, like, follow the movie when I'm watching it. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be that hard for me to be able to follow the movie.
I like it both ways. So.
To be honest, I kind of followed it on an emotional level, even if I didn't follow it on a logical level, so this always kind of made sense to me.
Well, this sort of thing probably hits me more on the nose than you, Amanda. The whole, like, you would have to not know yourself to make yourself happy is a fucking mood.
Yeah.
So this I never actually had to parse out. It was just like, no, you know,
like, that made
1,000% sense. I would have done the same damn thing.
Basically, the whole ignorance is bliss kind of
because this isn't Homura from the show.
Well, I mean, whether it is or it isn't.
This isn't Homura for the show, and I guess to CYA, there's a bunch of interviews that say, oh, you're right, this is Homura from the movies. But literally everyone treats this as if it's supposed to be Homura from the show. So I guess you're right if you detach this from Homura from the show. But I see this as it's supposed to be Homura from the show, and it's not. So it doesn't make emotional sense to me. Does that kind of make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, that's kind of how I see it. Like, that's why I don't like it. It's like, Like, when I watched it for the first time, it didn't make emotional sense to me. Because I was like, this isn't Homura. Like, this doesn't make sense.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this does feel like Homura from the show, because I don't feel like she could be happy, like, even if she tried, kind of thing. So, that's the dividing point.
Right.
Really,
and like, we've said this already, like, we've made that point.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to explain, like, that's the sticking point for me. Like, because I land on the one half of the people who interpret the show one way. Like, I'm not in that privileged group who just so happened to interpret the show in a way that's consistent with this shitty sequel, or in my opinion, this sequel that requires you to be in the privileged group that interpreted the show in one way. Like,
trust me, it's not a privilege.
Yeah, this ambiguous show that had an ambiguous ending, and then it had a sequel where only 50% of the people who enjoyed the show will, like, agree with how it's characterized. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
It's just, I think there's a lot to be said about how your personality affects how you perceive the things that you watch.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. But, so that's like kind of, that's like why I'm watching this scene, and it's like, She's explaining to Homura, like, you know, I was doubting you, and it was driving me crazy, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know, you know, if I had done the right thing and if you had done the right thing. And I'm sitting here screaming, like, I wanted to watch that. Show me that. Yeah. I would have loved to see you go through that conflict. You know what I mean? That's what I would have loved to see. I would, you know, I'm on board. Show me that happening. You know, don't show me this scene where all of a sudden we've jumped ahead and I don't get to see all of that shit that all happened off screen.
Yeah.
Like, and then this part is cool. Like, it's kind of sinister almost, where you start to question at this part in the movie if this is even the real Madoka, because she starts rebraiding her hair.
Yeah. Like, I would be happy this way.
Yeah. Like, just keep living the lie. You're fine. And she just starts braiding her hair. Like, go back to being, like, innocent and...
Yeah, and then the light, like, shines on them because...
Kyubei's watching.
One of the blimps comes toward them.
Kyubei's got a boner now.
And then all of the flowers turn purple?
Yeah, the flowers turn dark.
Yeah,
and, like,
I can't remember what... I think those look like wild primroses, I think they are.
But I think, like, she braids the hair and then the hair gets undone.
Yeah, it comes undone by itself and the flowers die.
Well, I mean, they shed their...
I should have been paying attention to the text there.
Oops. Well, she basically is saying, like, oh yeah, no, I would never have done anything that would hurt you like that. Which is, again, like... That's something from the show too, where every time Homura asks Madoka what would make you happy, what do you want, the answer that Madoka gives is something that reinforces the belief Homura has that she should stop Madoka from making her, like, goddess decision. That she wouldn't want to be that way, that she would just want to be free, So, it's...
I just want to be with my friends and be normal,
and that's literally what's happening here, is Homura's like, well, what would you want, basically? And Madoka's like, I'd want to chill with my friends and be happy forever.
Yeah.
Not, you know, sacrifice myself and become, you know, Godoka.
Yeah, this scene is weird. Like...
It is weird, but in that sense, it's something that the show was weird about, too. Where it's like, so what's your answer, Madoka? Because every answer you give Homura is definitely enabling Homura's weird, definitely unhealthy approach to life.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens here, so...
Yeah, and, like, so in this conversation, Madoka's like, I would never, like, leave all my friends. I want to be with my friends. They're awesome. If I ever did anything that would make you be so sad and make you cry like this, it would break my heart and I'd be so sad. And Homura takes this as, oh my god, she didn't want to make that wish. Which is, like, such a leap. But, like... And,
it is a leap.
But I can get that. I can get that. That's not unreasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's not... And then Homura's like, I should have stopped you back then. I shouldn't have let you do that. But then she's like, listen, when the time comes and you have to make a hard decision, you're going to be able to do it. There are things that only you can do. And you're going to see that you're going to have the strength to make the hard choices and do what you have to do. And then she decides, you know, you're right. I should have stopped you then. And it's like, what? Like, then what were you talking about with, like, when the hard time comes, you're going to do the right thing and make the hard decision. Like, I don't understand. Those two things don't make sense. Like, why are you encouraging her to make the hard decision, and then in the next breath saying, I should have stopped you from making the hard decision? Does that make...
I should have let you think you have agency, but then not let you have agency.
Yeah, and...
You were being irresponsible with your agency. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. The blimps have the salamander earring.
Yeah.
So maybe they are all Homura.
Makes me wonder... Yeah, that's what makes me wonder if it's just part of the labyrinth in that case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Homura can't help but monitor her own damn labyrinth because she hates happiness.
Relatable.
Yeah. Homura's like, I want to spy on my entire labyrinth, even though that will not help me
big time relatable.
Keep buying this illusion. She's very shitty at being Akio, is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah. He's just happy the way he is.
I like your note in here about how the two, Madoka and Homura, really love each other, but they are terrible at reading each other.
Yeah, they really
don't understand each other at all.
Nope.
No.
They sure don't.
Yeah.
Purple and pink don't see eye to eye.
No, they do not.
The worst color combination for girl on girl.
There's still something I need to do, says Homura, and then buggers off.
Pew pew.
Bye.
She runs off, and this is basically like, so we're gonna have another sequence here where it's essentially exposition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, she calls up. Yeah. Homura calls up Kyoko.
Kyoko's got a cute
dog drug
charm.
reinforcement.
Yeah, I love the name of the game, Dog Drug Reinforcement. Yes, of course.
I don't know what kind of games you play, but
mine are definitely all named like that.
Reinforcement with Madokas everywhere.
Yep, and little dancing one-eyed marionettes everywhere.
If your entire world looked like this,
man, yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Oh, we're doing the constellation thing. I feel like I have already talked about that already. That's why I was getting confused as to where we were.
Yeah.
I like how her hair just unnecessarily just flies.
This is a very windy movie.
It is very windy.
It's extremely windy.
The flowers in the
now
box.
We have
What's the
more
flowers
trippy
in the box
imagery,
thing?
and we're gonna hop a bus.
Yeah, another bus.
Getting on a bus.
More buses.
But she's putting her soul gem down first.
Yep.
Before she gets on the bus.
Yeah, and she's talking to Kyoko on the phone while she's doing it. And she's like, in order for someone to lock us in a labyrinth where Madoka is here, they would have to know about Madoka to begin with. And that really means that there's only one person that the labyrinth could belong to. And that's Homura.
Yeah. And Kyoko rightly takes this as a suicide attempt and goes running out to look for her. But then a giant blimp crashes down. A giant fiery blimp crashes down.
It looks kind of like a soul gem.
It does.
Yeah.
Like a big, angry, on fire, smiling soul gem.
Yep.
Go boom. So she
Kyoko
goes
is
through
right.
a rose gate, even though we haven't actually seen any rose imagery. But there's a rose gate onto the bus.
Don't forget there are stairs onto the bus. Rose
Are
gate,
there stairs in your house?
I do like the thing when she
I
drops
actually
the
really
phone
love
here
that.
and it drifts like a feather. That's very cool.
That is very cool.
And now we have more of your jam, Bana.
Oh, yeah, I'll shut up.
Constellations. You don't have to shut up. I mean, that was an invitation to talk. Constellations everywhere. Clocks everywhere.
Yeah, it's all fun and games. But I think doesn't it like drift off and the constellations disappear as she gets further out from the...
Well, yeah, because she's getting out of the map of her known universe.
And then just, like the spot starts showing up on her hand and it's like, oh shit, I'm the witch.
Yeah, This is the part now. So this is now from here to about the last 10 minutes of the movie is the part of the movie that I like unambiguously like just love. Like,
this part,
this sequence of the movie, I can just sit down and watch this part of the movie and just turn it off before the end and just enjoy all of it. It's just so good. Yep. It's beautiful to watch. The soundtrack is amazing.
Really is.
Like, so basically Homura is realizing that she's been the witch all along and she is absolutely trashing the place. Everything is being fucking destroyed. All of the blimps are crashing. The school gets destroyed. The garden that she was talking to Kyoko in gets destroyed. All the bridges that we were talking about earlier, they're all on fire. All these new buildings start rising out of the floor.
And they're like cartoonish. A lot of them are windows, tables, trees. There's what looks like a safe.
Stops next.
And the bus is still going.
The bus is still going.
Yep, still stopping at Mitakihara.
Please use the stop for Mitakihara Elementary.
Stop requested crunch.
Stop requested. The bus blows up. That's pretty fucking sweet.
This is some good comedic timing.
Yep.
And there's even like the visual border.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
those handprints.
Yeah, there's a shot of her soul gem. Yeah,
and she shoots up her own soul gem, and it's like
she doesn't die.
No.
Yeah. And then these creepy little Inukuri girls that have been following the characters around the whole movie are actually the familiars of her labyrinth, which is really cool.
What is it about Amaryllis? There's some symbolism to it.
Yeah, the Amaryllis takes over in the field.
It's something about death or something like that. I can't remember. But there is some symbolism to the use of Amaryllis here. Mm-hmm. The flowers that show up.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
most
pod
of this
is something, but I don't remember what.
And then the handprints appearing on Madoka's legs, where she was kind of clutching them earlier. I mean, statue Madoka, not...
Yeah. And there's Kyubey. Hi, Kyubey.
Yeah, hi, Kyubey. And soldiers dressed like Homura.
Oh, and Kyubey starts his first lines in the movie, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Shut up, this is such a fucking mood.
Yep.
So Kyubey's like... Who wants to give us Kyubey's libertarian logic here?
Oh God, not
his.
I don't even want to think about him.
I only like facts and logic. I love reason and facts and logic. His
facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
Said Kyubey.
Yep.
And Jorp, isn't that a Jorp? But Kyubey doesn't say anything that we haven't been saying this whole time. Basically, he's kind of laughing at Homura and saying, of course you would trash your own fucking...
Yes, but he's doing it in a very asshole libertarian way.
Kyubey is being Mr. Plot Explainer in this scene.
He is being plot explainer Mickey over here.
Yeah.
But it does make sense. The moment she had any inkling that she wasn't in a normal space, she immediately had to dig at it and poke at it and tear it apart and rip it asunder. And she didn't consider whether she was happier that way, and it would not have mattered. No. Everyone kept asking her, are you sure it would be better this way? That's what Sayaka says.
Yeah, that's the thing that Sayaka was asking her about. She's like,
better?
What are you going to do when you find out? And do you feel like this is going to make you happier or not?
Yeah. And the answer is always no, this is a terrible idea, you're not going to be any happier, and yet she has to pick the scab anyway.
I have to, because to her it matters if it's not real.
Yeah, she cares whether it's not real, which is interesting given the choice she makes later.
It matters to her.
Which is also...
Well, you can argue that that's not really Homura later. That's a different character. That's Devil Homura is not really the same person anymore.
You could.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can argue that, but I don't believe
you're given a visible space where Kyubey and Homura are talking, and Homura is in this bed, and you get this impression that this is not necessarily in the labyrinth, that it's not. Mm-hmm. And you find out all along that Homura has been kept in this little virtual space with Kyubey's all watching her become a witch in an in a tesseract. It's a fucking tesseract.
Yeah. Please explain for the audience what a tesseract is.
Why?
Because not everybody knows.
Not everyone knows what that is.
You know the thing at the end of Interstellar? It's a tesseract.
Okay. No, explain what a tesseract is.
There's that thing that's like zooming around above her, holding her soul gem in
that's
a restrained space.
In the movie,
that's the tesseract.
The concept.
It's an attempt to depict a higher dimensional cube in 3D space. Basically,
okay.
So it's it's extra dimensional. It's their version of it's a warp. It's the warp, or it's the black hole, or it's the
wormhole, or something like that.
It's that sort of nonsense, but it's basically to establish that she's not in the same universal space that the rest of the world is happening in, which later will be explained as why Madoka couldn't get to her directly. Mm-hmm. She can't get through this tesseract because she can't see through it.
Well, she couldn't see through it, but she
could get through it, but she couldn't see through it. And they call it an isolation field. Mm-hmm. Whatever, but same idea.
So they kept her broken soul gem,
and the
all
soul
stuck
gem is
together.
all shattered, but not broken yet.
No, it's actually being held together.
It's being held together.
It's got an apparatus around
and
it.
that's
that looks
kind
like
of
one
why
of those
her witch labyrinth is so accommodating.
Yeah.
Like, her witch labyrinth isn't really a witch labyrinth. It's a magical girl labyrinth. Kind of. In a way.
She's not
a full witch yet. That's why there's this whole sequence here to tell you what happens when she becomes a witch. She wasn't like that until that moment. At which
I hate
point
this.
She, goes full witch, and it's
I hate
amazing.
this.
But prior to that, she
I hate
was
this
more
so
just
much.
a witch.
Okay, hi everybody. We started having audio problems, and we had to take a break and basically stop what we were doing. We basically decided to go ahead and stop here and clip this off here and finish the movie in a part 4. So, we're gonna stop here with Homura in the middle of her mental breakdown here, talking to Cube, and just do our little outro. So please join us for the end of our Rebellion discussion next time. If you want to follow the show on Twitter, it is at Madoka Magicast. On Tumblr, which I have not updated in a long time, I need to do that. It is also Madoka Magicast on Tumblr. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is Lambda Power. So Lambda, like the Greek letter, and then Power.
And if you should want to follow us anywhere, me and Vana can always be found at ohtori.nu. We are also on Twitter at ohtori_NU, and I'm still so tickled that NU means naked.
Yep.
So that's where you can find us. Panda?
If you would like to follow me, you can do that at impandanada. If you would like to check out other things I do in the world of podcasting, you can check out Imagine Me and Utena, a Revolutionary Girl Utena podcast that I have occasionally done with Yasha and Vana on many occasions, and also Amanda on several occasions.
Yes.
And we're about to start Yuri Kuma soon, which I will be doing with Yasha and Vana, because I'm making them go on this journey with me.
We might have, like, little breaks in the show now where we have short little, 10-second adverts for Panda's other podcasts. So,
cool.
It'll probably be, like, an end thing. Like,
we'll
do some cross-promo.
Yeah, something like that, so.
Nice. What about the Fresh podcast, Panda?
I tricked you guys. I wasn't gonna say it. I'll say it in the next one.
Okay, next one. Okay. Anyway, thanks for listening, and please join us next time for part 4 of the Rebellion movie, where we will all repeat our opinions on this movie over again and over again and over again for the fourth and final time.
Yes.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.